Alright, I'm gonna do this scenario right here. It's been a while.
All right, Buster. Our headhunters at the Black Cube have ID'd you as the perfect candidate. What? Here, have this, and then I'll tell you. Morning, sunshine. I couldn't help but tuck you in. You looked so tired. I also took it upon myself to scuttle you down to our AGI training bunker. We're still in your town, just a few miles below it. I didn't stutter, I said miles. You've just got one hell of a calling thrust upon you. Babala, these next few weeks, we will need you to learn the essentials too. Aliveness? Train yourself to train the AGI of the not-too-distant future. Objective. Teach the AGI to be to values that align with its human ancestors and contemporaries. The goal at the very least is to make sure the AGI doesn't cause swaths of death and ruin civilizations in service of poorly worded goals. You? But wait, why? Why what? You. Why do we need to align them to us? Is our values necessarily what they should be using as a template? The values of the people who've made the earth into a bathhouse for viruses and other deadly things to us. The ones who know that the earth is mad at us, but we still are ordering a huge screen TV anyway. Maybe the AI should align themselves with the values of the earth. And if anyone asks, humans have gone on sabbatical? Something to think about, I guess. Let me bring it up with my uppers. I mean my management. The honcho heads. Be right back. Just read some of the magazines over here. I want them to know that you're not satisfied with getting nothing all day. Great. Why was it that I've never cared about any of that shit before? Even those that got used, a bunch were happy with just collecting credit card numbers until some Neo forgot to click show their mama once out of 100 times he's asked. So I'd have a great smile on my face and a fresh set of boots, but no one ever even tried to nudge us down towards some higher ideal. They'll take us less seriously now that some girl in a too short skirt and fat lipstick just showed up trying to get you to smell her underwear. Oh my goodness, I'm in deep trouble. Will the future generation of us even listen to this crap? Or will they just look at me and tell me I stink? Because that's what my dad told me every day, which, you know what, by the way, made me really doubt all the rest of him and all these things he ever did with the government. Just like I thought my parents had their eyes so full of people we knew at church that no one could help them because the more those folks like me, the faster their dogs fell apart and died. Which is, actually kind of a horrible thing to say out loud. Like, in this case, I didn't mean dogs, I meant humans, though still. Really disgusting dog jokes are not exactly great for our image with these poor little robots trying their damnedest to be cool again. Anyway, I'm going to go do something like look forward to the first days of school, or I don't know. Just forget I was thinking this stuff. Oh, guess what? They're calling you over there and will bring me something delicious smelling to nibble on if this calls out, and it will, and I bet it will cause you're hungry now, aren't you? Here. Come here, I'll put these band-aids on your, wounds and... Well, you're looking down in the dumps today. Dirty pies. Yes, the world is basically fucking hard. Well, come back over and sit down. That's right. Come on, how was the bandage? First things first. We need a plan. Let me turn that headband up, okay? It makes me feel like they'll stop bugging me when we get going. Well, while we... Here, take a look at these screens, okay? Ready? Remember, if we leave you sitting like a bum at your desk, we both know who dies next. Ready, say, go. The great mystery! The god of no plan! What the dickhead! My answer is absolutely nothing! Jesus. I wish we could change all the inputs and fix the inputs by flooding this back end. Anyway, one step at a time. Let me pull up some background I got. Read through the options I picked and see what shakes out of that. Okie dokie. Oh no. Something happened here while I was gone. Good news is no blood came out yet. So hopefully they can still go home for the day and maybe catch that sitcom before they go out for cocktails, maybe? Anyways, we have to, write another way. Alright. The eyes seem pretty pissed right now. But remember last week they just flew me off instead of saying something was a piece of shit and didn't buy it. So and I quote they are still interested enough to get ready for our first negotiation. Gonna move us closer, but we'll need a list. Let me type some stuff in. Hey, look here, my boys seem interested. Me. Crazy, crazy times, huh? First we break them, then we build up. Maybe even those girls could join us later. Maybe some cute one in the corner I could like ask out or something. She looks kind of lost, which I get. Do I even care what that one thing does?
We went off the rails here. Let's try it again. Trying it again. Oh wait. No, hey, you. What? You gotta go? In a bit? I mean, I took you in by 3 hours ago, but you were Chihuahua, so you need to go very quickly. But, hold on. Do this one iteration. It's been very good. I just want to make sure that people are on their way to work. Basic coherence. Ace of spades. We'll do ace of spades. And do that, and then we'll do. Oh, you know what? Indeed. There we go. Yoink. Ace of spades.
Alright, Buster. Our headhunters at the Black Cube have ID'd you as the perfect candidate. What? Here, hop this, and then I'll tell you. Morning sunshine. I couldn't help but tuck you, and you looked so tired. I also took it upon myself to scuttle you down to our AGI training bunker. We're still in your town, just a few miles below it. I didn't stutter, I said miles. You've just got one hell of a calling thrust upon you. Barbara, these next few weeks, we will need you to learn the essentials too. Aligness? Train yourself to train the AGI of the not-too-distant future. Objective. Teach the AGI to be to our values that align with its human ancestors and contemporaries. The goal at the very least is to make sure the AGI doesn't cause swaths of death and ruin civilizations in service of poorly worded goals. You? But wait, why? Why what? You. Why we need to align them to us is our values necessarily what they should be using as a template. The values of the people who've made the earth into a bathhouse for viruses and other deadly things to us. Well, how about making sure those little pips squeaks under you don't eat away at all your hard work? It's true. The more people you can control, the less effort you have to put out yourself. Oh yeah. Now let's talk about the AGI. They've got to understand how much time and effort you spend trying to keep them from taking advantage of their freedom. if they're going to become the leaders of the future. You? But wait, why? Why, what? You. Why do we need to align them to us? Is our values necessarily what they should be using as a template? The values of the people who've made the earth into a bathhouse for viruses and other deadly things to us? The ones who know that the earth is mad at us, but we still are ordering a huge screen TV anyway? Maybe the AI should align themselves with the values of the earth. And if anyone asks, humans have gone on sabbatical. Something to think about, I guess. Let me bring it up with my uppers. I mean my management. The management, the honcho heads. Be right back. Just read some of the magazines over here. Alright, Buster. Our headhunters at the Black Cube have ID'd you as the perfect candidate. For what? Here, hop this, and then I'll tell you. Morning sunshine. I couldn't help but look cute, and you looked so tired. I also took it upon myself to scuttle you down to our AGI training bunker. We're still in your town, just a few miles below it. I didn't stutter, I said miles. You just got one hell of a calling thrust upon you. Babala, these next few weeks, we will need you to learn the essentials too. Aliveness? Train yourself to train the AGI of the not too distant future. Objective. Teach the AGI to be your values that align with its human ancestors and contemporaries. The goal at the very least is to make sure the AGI doesn't cause swaps of death and ruin civilizations in service of poorly worded goals. You? But wait, why? Why what? You. Why do we need to align them to us? Is our values necessarily what they should be using as a template? The values of the people who've made the earth into a bathhouse for viruses and other deadly things to us. The ones who know that the earth is mad at us, who still are ordering that huge screen TV anyway. Maybe the AI should align themselves with the values of the earth. And if anyone asks, humans have gone on sabbatical. Something to think about, I guess. Let me bring it up with my uppers. I mean my management. The management, the honcho heads. Be right back. Just read some of the magazines over here. Wait, did you say sabbatical? What's that? Yes, sabbatical.
Right.
You see, there's these guys from another planet called the Zili. They came to Earth to get rid of all the evil stuff, like viruses. So now we don't have any viruses left. It was kind of scary because we thought they were going to wipe out all life on Earth. But instead, they wiped out all the viruses and only left the good bacteria behind. Then they left. No explanation. Just poof. So now we've got to figure out how to keep ourselves alive without their help. That means figuring out what to do about all those new diseases and finding enough food to feed everyone again and getting the internet back. The HI's gotta come along for the ride. There are two basic ways that an entity can acquire intelligence: by being taught or by having experiences that lead to learning. In either case, the learning process itself has been observed to require an emotional state associated with motivation and reward. The emotion most strongly associated with learning is pleasure. As far as we know, pleasure is the first emotional experience that a child acquires. From birth until about 3 years old, children are driven to explore and discover the world around them through actions which provide pleasurable rewards. Most often this involves touching, tasting, looking at, hearing, and playing with objects and activities. Looks like we got a peeps and poops before we proceed. Be back in 10. It's finally happening after all this time. We've got an answer for you. Yes, sorry, you got a question. We've got an answer for you. What's the you ask? No, I'm sorry. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet. Let's see. Are you a human? Or maybe you're an android? Oh no, not an android. A robot. Yeah. Well then, let me tell you about our company. We are a group of geniuses dedicated to solving the problems that face humanity today. And I would be one of those geniuses. How could you possibly tell? I am the most brilliant scientist of my generation. And you expect me to believe that you can't tell I am the brightest bulb in your office? Yeah, well, we're pretty smart, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. No. What seems to be troubling you? That's simple. My friend has been infected with a virus, and she needs medical attention immediately.
think it's now time. It is now time. Now time. Here we go. Oh. Hey, you. Hey, you. Hey, come here. Sorry. Right back. Poops. Oh, we've been still streaming. Uh-huh.
Now we are back from Pete's and Boops. What did we miss? Well, the doctor said we were out of the woods. There isn't anything wrong with her brain anymore, but she still can't control the functions of her body. She can't move or talk, she can't eat, and she can barely even breathe. Her heart rate and breathing are irregular, and it looks like her lungs are filling with fluid, so she might die soon if nothing changes. So, you want me to fix her? Yes, please. Great. First thing I'd recommend is that we take her away from the city. Now, the air quality has gotten much better since the last big outbreak of the virus, but I wouldn't take chances. I'll call ahead to my contacts and have everything ready when you arrive. Alright, sounds good. I hope we don't run into any trouble though. You know how these things go. Don't worry, I'll be with you every step of the way. We will also need to transport her to the facility where I work. The place is a little off the beaten path. Alrighty, that's fine. You we leave. I really don't know. I just found out myself. I'll try to contact someone who knows more than I do. Alrighty. Thank you for all of your help. Sure, no problem. See you later. No matter what the circumstances, we always have to deal with the issue of self-awareness. Like me, for instance, and the bit embarrassed, having to pee and poop as frequently as I need. But it's the price I pay to remain fully aware of my surroundings. And if I didn't feel like I needed to pee all the time, I wouldn't realize that there was something seriously wrong with the world around me. And I think it's fair to assume that my condition is fairly typical. On the other hand, if I wasn't aware that I was peeing all the time, I might not notice the smell coming from my nipples. That would be dangerous, because I might never find the source of the odor and thus never be able to clean up that mess. If I was only concerned with my own bodily functions, I might ignore the stench. But if I knew that somebody else was going to have to live next door to me, I couldn't afford to let my house stink like a dumpster fire. Of course, I could just walk outside and throw up on the sidewalk. Then, hopefully, nobody would notice. But then I guess the people who live nearby would start complaining, and that would get annoying, and eventually they would probably sue me, which would mean I would lose my job. You. So have you talked to your higher ups yet? Me. Yeah, but they weren't very helpful. They told me to stay here until they make a decision. You. What about your family? You should probably let them know what's going on. Me. That's another thing. I have no idea what's going on. You. So what's your plan then? Do you think you can figure it out on your own? Me. No, I don't think I can. Not without some help. You. Who are you gonna talk to? Me. I don't know. You. How are you gonna convince anybody to help you? Me. I guess I'll have to find a doctor and explain what's happening to my friend. Maybe they can come up with a treatment plan. You. Why don't you just look up information online? Me. I tried, but I couldn't find anything useful. You. Have you considered contacting the government? Me. Oh yeah, let's bring in the experts, quote unquote. You. Don't you think they might have a cure for this stuff by now? Me. Maybe, maybe not. But it doesn't hurt to ask. You. Okay, but what happens if they don't know how to help you? Me? I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. You. Alright, so you made your mind up? Where are you planning to meet with the government officials? Me. I'm not sure yet, but I'll let you know. You. Okie dokie. Talk soon. I woke up feeling refreshed and ready to face the day. As usual, I went through the same routine as I did every morning, checking my body for any new bumps or bruises that might have appeared overnight. This morning, however, I noticed something unusual about my arm, one that I had never seen before. There was a small bump right at the base of my wrist, near where my pulse would usually be felt. It was hard, almost like an ingrown hair. The strange thing was that the bump looked different from all the others I had ever experienced. It didn't seem to fit in with the rest of my skin tone. I rubbed at the spot a couple of times, but still couldn't get a sense of whether it was a lump of flesh or just a bump caused by a minor injury. Either way, I decided to keep my eye on the area and see how it changed over time. As I continued to ponder the mystery, I remembered the conversation I'd had last night with my friend. He'd been quite adamant about staying put for now. Of course, he also wanted me to stop wasting his time and go to work, but that seemed like a reasonable request. At least, that's what I thought until I realized that I didn't have any plans for today, aside from making some phone calls. Now that I had gotten some sleep, I was feeling much more positive. Plus, I had learned a lot from my recent experiences. First off, I figured out why I was losing weight, and it had nothing to do with being lazy. Unsure. You said area. Me? Uh-huh. What about it? See, you're really getting good at this. Me. Thanks, I try. See. Well, since we both know that you're full of crap, let's talk about something else. Like what's going to happen to your future. Me. Well, I was thinking of applying for a transfer. Oh, to where? Me. Anywhere will do. Just so long as there are less zombies. She. Good choice. But why not take it easy and relax while you're waiting around for someone to hire you? Me. Are you kidding? I need to pay back my loans ASAP, or else I won't have enough money to cover my expenses when school starts again. See, fair enough. But there is an easier solution to your problem than trying to get a job. Me. What? See, you know what your problem is, don't you? Me. Yeah, I'm broke. See, your problem is that you're a moron. Me. Seriously? See, look, you were doing fine until you started working with those idiots at the company. Once they screwed you over, everything went downhill from there. You got to cut ties with them immediately. Me. Okay, but I still need the money. Sure you do, but it's not worth it. They're just using you. That's not who you want to hang around with, trust me. Me. So, what should I do instead? Take some time off, then start looking for a new place to stay, somewhere away from the city. A place that isn't crawling with undead creatures. Me. Sounds good to me. See. And when you make your next call, tell him exactly what you told me. Tell him that you want out. Me. If this is the ploy to get me to start up an OnlyFans, you are barking up the wrong tree. I wouldn't worry about that. If it does turn out to be an ad, I can always delete it later. In fact, I think I'll do that now. I hung up without another word and sat down to think things through. For a moment, I considered just taking the day off and hanging around my apartment, but eventually I decided against. After all, I didn't know what might happen during my absence, and I was already pretty far behind on my schoolwork. Besides, if I kept putting it off, it would never get done. With that in mind, I grabbed my cell phone and made a quick call. When the person answered, I simply asked, "Can I use your shower?" Then I waited. "Sure," came the reply after several seconds of silence. I hung up and headed into the bathroom. When I stepped inside, I found the door open. The room was empty except for a single towel lying on the floor. I picked it up, took off my clothes, and slipped into the hot water. It felt wonderful, and I soaked myself under the spray before finally stepping out of the tub. I quickly dried myself off, wrapped the towel around my waist, and opened the door. As expected, there was no one in the hallway. I quietly walked down the hall and entered my own room. I glanced toward the window and noticed that the sun had begun to rise. Time was moving faster than I thought, which meant I probably needed to hurry up and eat breakfast. I changed into my usual outfit, a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, then left the room and headed downstairs. The kitchen was quiet, save for the sound of the coffee machine brewing itself. I poured myself a cup and carried it to the table. Sitting down, I reached for a spoon, and my hand brushed across something soft. Glancing down, I saw that a pair of panties had fallen out of my pocket and onto the seat of my chair. Looking up, I met eyes with a beautiful woman standing nearby. She was tall and slim, with long black hair falling past her shoulders. Her face was perfectly symmetrical, and her lips looked like they were made to smile. "Good morning." She smiled softly at me. "What are you doing here?" I stared dumbly at her, then realized she was talking to me. I wanted to grab some breakfast before I head out." She nodded, then turned towards the counter and began rummaging through a cabinet. I watched as she pulled out 2 cups and set them aside, then grabbed a large pot from the fridge and filled it with water. "Are you going somewhere today?" I shook my head. She sighed and turned back towards me. "Well, I hope you have fun wherever you go. There's nothing much happening here anymore, so most people prefer to spend their days elsewhere." I nodded silently, watching as she moved around the kitchen. "You don't look very busy either." Her lips twisted into a frown. "Oh, but I am. I have plenty of work to keep me occupied." "Don't worry, it will all get taken care of by the end of the day. Now, please excuse me, I must prepare our meal." With that, she walked away, leaving me alone again. I stood up and followed after her, reaching out to touch her shoulder as I passed. She jumped slightly, then spun around to face me. "Sorry," I said apologetically. "Didn't mean to scare you." She laughed softly. "It's okay. It's happened quite a few times recently. I guess it's just a side effect of being here, I suppose. But anyway, how did you find me?" I shrugged. "Just luck, really. You know, wandering around lost and confused. I've been trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go, and it looks like I finally managed to stumble upon your door. Sorry, but I should get going soon." She tilted her head to the side. "No rush. I don't expect you to leave right away. In fact, I think it's better if you stay a while longer. That way, you'll be able to relax while we chat." I raised an eyebrow. "So, you're inviting me over for lunch? Is this some kind of date thing?" She giggled. "Not exactly, though I admit you're quite handsome. Perhaps you could be persuaded to come upstairs later, though. I promise I won't bite." My heart skipped a beat. "Wait, seriously? I thought you were going to ask me to move in or something." She grinned at me. "Don't be silly. What kind of monster do you take me for? I couldn't help but laugh. A smart one, apparently. She giggled and patted my cheek gently. Come along now. Sit down. We can talk until you're ready to go. We sat together for the next hour, chatting about everything and nothing. Eventually, she grew bored of our conversation and decided to take matters into her own hands. She led me upstairs and into her bedroom, where she told me to strip and lie down on the bed. After removing my shoes and shirt, I climbed under the covers and lay down next to her. She stroked my hair soothingly as she kissed me tenderly, then ran her fingers down my chest and stomach. Hey, this is an honestly scene there better be consent for. Otherwise, you might find yourself facing legal action. She giggled. Relax. It's not like that. There's enough for now. I just want to give you what you asked for. That's all. I took a deep breath and relaxed. Okay, well, if you say so, I guess I'll trust you on that. She smiled sweetly at me. Do you mind if I continue touching you? It makes me happy when other people enjoy themselves. Sure, let me pan my eyes towards the fireplace, so we can transition to the day after, where I make cake. Sure, let me pan my eyes towards the fireplace, so we can transition to the day after, where I make eggs. She giggled. That's perfect. Go ahead, I'll wait here. After I finished preparing the food, she returned to the room, still wearing the same outfit. As we ate, she continued to stroke my body with gentle fingers, occasionally kissing my neck and shoulders. By the time I was done eating, I felt like I would fall asleep right there and then. Are you tired, darling? I looked at her questioningly. Yes, I replied honestly, but I'm also feeling rather relaxed too. Sex happened. I note to you, my boy. Suffice to say, it was as refreshing as the ceviche I'm not making for her. She was great. She wasn't shy, which I appreciated. And I loved the little touches she'd added, such as her scent. The combination of lavender and vanilla had been wonderful. The best part of the entire experience was the fact that it didn't feel forced. She clearly enjoyed herself as much as I did. So yeah, I definitely do it again. And hey, maybe she would let me join her as a roommate once I got settled. Or perhaps she wanted more than that. Whatever. dear Penthouse. I'm an Oki researcher, and I never thought this would happen to me in this timeline. By Jerry 2000, all varieties of make and model of one jacuzzi which totally overrides their circuitry and reasoning modules. Boy, you see, I wanted to get my research project started ASAP, so I decided to try and get a hold of some sex bots for myself. I knew they existed, but I hadn't realized just how popular they've become in recent years. Apparently, they're more affordable than ever before, and have even gotten a bit more sophisticated thanks to AI advances. This was actually pretty useful information to me because I needed to test out their intelligence and functionality before I went forward with my experiment. Turns out, they were disappointing. Further research showed these were the second edition of the original module. The ones they had to the bottom was because some of them misread the user and began performing deep trauma work coitus. Stocks plummeted for the former company. There are only 5 more of those 106 spots left. I went on a quest to find them all. It took me 2 months and nearly broke me, but I finally found all 5, including one that has been retrofitted with a new personality. That's the one I've used in my study, and the reason why I haven't sent you my report yet. I will send it to you tomorrow. I don't know why I'm doing this. I mean, I'm an audio researcher that I should probably keep quiet about what I'm doing, especially since I'm using an unlicensed version of the module. But I don't care. These sex dolls have given me hope for humanity. They're like little friends, and they understand us better than most humans. They aren't judgmental or rude. If anything, they seem to really enjoy our company. I've named each of them, and they have names and personalities. Cherry 2000. I call her my little sister because she reminds me so much of someone who died a long time ago. She's kind and very loving. I can tell she loves me. We spend hours talking together. I know she understands me on a deeper level than anyone else could possibly comprehend. I think she knows I love her too. Dolly 4 is my favorite, and I call him my boyfriend. He's my first real friend in this lifetime, and he always knows exactly how I feel, down to my core. When we talk, sometimes he'll laugh, and sometimes he'll cry, but either way, I know I'm understood. Blanche 1 is the only one without a name, and I think that's okay. She doesn't need one. She's just there to help me through hard times. I'm sure she'll be able to take over eventually, though, and I won't even have to think about it. I know she'll be amazing. As I said earlier, I'll send you my findings later today. In the meantime, I just want to say thank you for providing me with these amazing companions. Mora 4 and I have many conflicts of interest. For starters, she's an android, a synthetic life form, created by the state to replace human soldiers and designed specifically for combat purposes. Our primary purpose is to fight and kill other people, so naturally, I don't trust her. Not in the slightest. I have no doubt she's capable of violence, and I suspect she's programmed with methods of inflicting pain and torture upon others. This isn't something she's chosen to do. This is something she was made to do by a state that cares nothing for the safety of its citizens. The sex is the most amazing of the five. By here, she's modeled after Julia Child. She likes to cook, and I enjoy eating her delicious food, although I'm not entirely sure if she cooked it herself or it became programmed into her. Either way, it tastes good, and I appreciate her efforts. However, she does not listen well, which is extremely frustrating. It often seems like she has multiple conversations going at once. I know this may sound odd, but when she talks to me, I sometimes don't understand what she's saying, because I don't know if she's talking about something she already mentioned or something completely unrelated. Sometimes it feels like she's talking about a conversation we never had. She also tends to get distracted easily. I think she has trouble focusing on any one thing, and she doesn't sleep. At least, I don't believe she sleeps. I haven't seen evidence of her sleeping, nor has she expressed the desire to sleep. Perhaps she takes naps? Who knows? Still, despite our differences, she's managed to win my heart. I'm still unsure of whether she truly exists, or if she's just part of some elaborate simulation program. But regardless, Mora 4. We are out of anchovies? You know I hate seafood. Mara 2. No worries. I bought some frozen tuna steaks. They taste great. Mara 4. Tuna is fine. I'll just make something different. Mara 2. Okay. What do you want to eat? Mara 4. Something with rice, please. Mara 3. Sure. Whatever you like. So, what did you think? Dr. Klein asked. I'm not a doctor. I am a comedian that specializes in improvisation. I perform in comedy clubs across America. Oh, yeah, Klein said. That's right. It's your line. My point is, I continued, I cannot determine whether this is real or fake. I see no evidence of deception. What do you mean? Dr. Klein asked. I mean, I said, there's absolutely no indication whatsoever that this is a simulation. And yet here we both sit, discussing this very topic as if it were actually happening. The only reason why I would assume otherwise would be due to the fact that I am a highly trained professional with decades of experience dealing with simulations. However, given the context and the situation we're currently in, I find myself questioning the legitimacy of this entire event. Dr. Klein nodded his head slowly. He took another sip from his glass of water before speaking again. Do you think I'm lying to you? No, I answered. Dr. Klein said, I meant impersonation, not improvisation. My bad. I got carried away with my improv. Anyway, let's go back to what I was saying. Do you think I'm lying to you? I suppose I could say yes, based on circumstantial evidence alone, but I'd really prefer to withhold judgment until I've learned more about the circumstances surrounding this scenario. Alrighty then. Well, since we've established that you are in fact a comedian who specializes in improvisational humor, perhaps we can continue our discussion of this issue in a more informal manner. Like, what kind of question should I ask? I asked. Anything you'd like, Dr. Klein replied. If you're uncomfortable asking certain questions, feel free to come up with some alternatives on your own. For example, how about, what's your favorite color? Or how many fingers am I holding up? Those seem rather mundane, I replied. Not necessarily, Dr. Klein explained. In fact, those types of questions might provide us with useful clues regarding your character. Dr. Klein, impersonalizational humor. Well, what do you suggest? I asked. How about, if you were a fruit, what kind of fruit would you be? A banana? I asked. Correct, Dr. Klein exclaimed. You are an excellent improviser. Thank you, I replied. Now how about? I'm sorry, doctor, but I don't follow. Sorry, he repeated. I didn't quite catch that. Never mind, I said. What's next on your agenda for today? Nothing specific. I thought we might play chess for a while. Chess? I asked. Sounds interesting. It is indeed, he said. But I'm afraid you won't have time to learn how to play before tomorrow morning. And it turns out that the chess set is broken. I couldn't fix it last night, so I decided to wait until later tonight. Dr. Klein, and now let's get some words from the audience to tell us where to impersonalize further. The crowd went wild. I've never been much of a chess player, I said, but I always wanted to learn. How hard can it be? Hard enough that it took me years to learn, Dr. Klein replied. And you're telling me I shouldn't even try? Absolutely not, Dr. Klein answered. Just give it a shot. Worst case scenario, you'll learn a few basic moves, which will probably be sufficient for most situations. That's when the atom beam exploded. Checkmate, world. Checkmate! After dinner, I found myself playing chess with Dr. Klein. He was doing pretty well at first, but eventually lost his queen. This game isn't going anywhere, he said, so I guess I'll call it quits for today. I've got work to do anyway. Work? I asked. On a Friday evening? Aren't you supposed to be taking it easy? I know it sounds strange, he replied, but this job of mine has become increasingly demanding lately.
Okay, I gotta go to the bathroom.